Chase is a man among boys.
Dials up the deep ball, looking for the connection, and he's gone!
Got locked in now, laser focus!
That's who you are! That's what we are!
That was kind of sweet.
Jesus. You know, it's week 13, and, you know, I would be lying if I told you that I was not still thinking about Ohio State getting their ass kicked by Michigan, because I still am, you know, and I'm not a liar, usually, not all the time. I lie on occasion, and so that's okay. You know, don't be discouraged if you lie sometimes, but, you know, it's fucked up. It's just fucked up. I just think about it a lot. I just finished watching the Pat McAfee show. Very great thing that I hope to be on one day, not as a guest caller, but as a literal guest. In fact, I'm going to host it. And Ohio State's out of the playoffs right now, and I'm pissed. But welcome to Week 13. Good Lord, the Buffalo Bills have finally found a rushing attack. Thank fucking God, man. Dalvin Cook Jr. and Devin Solitary ran wild against the 1960 Patriots. The Boston Tea Party was cut short because the Gaytriots couldn't brew worth a shit. So instead of protesting chamomile that makes you shit, they should be protesting that offense, because it's horrible, which probably makes New England fans shit anyway, their offense, because it's so bad, it gives them shit stress. It makes them stress shit. Mac Jones has some choice words himself for what he thought about the Patriots offense.
And they better figure this out, because they got a pretty good, decent football team. Yeah, you see it right there. You see the cuss words come out, but he's also expressing himself saying throw the ball.
And I know he said pass the fucking ball, but the second part is up for debate. Some say he said the run game sucks, and some say he said the quick game sucks, which I actually think he said the quick game sucks. Me personally, I think he said the Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. With that being said, let's move on to the Sunday slate. Let's get it. Will we see Justin Fields and Jordan Love? Or will we see Aaron Rodgers and Nathan Peterman? Or will we see Big Dick Simeon? The Bears-Packers rivalry has been on hold as the Bears have sucked ass for many years, and the Packers have not. The Bears might actually have a chance to own Aaron Rodgers instead of him owning them. I think Chicago has a good chance, even if Aaron Rodgers plays. I don't think it really matters. It's a different offense since the last time these two teams played in week 2. And it's just different offense too for Green Bay. It's worse. Aaron Rodgers' thumb is broken. His ribs are burnt. I mean, he broke his ribs. He hurt his ribs. But he still wants to play, and he'll play if he's able to. So Jake from State Farm is going to need to give him the Rodgers rate and the ayahuasca estimate, because that motherfucker is going to be perked up on PKs all game. As for Justin Fields, his little shoulder boo-boo is feeling better as he returned to full practice Thursday and is almost 100% grade A guaranteed to play. And these are two teams that run the ball really well and who can't stop the run at all really well. They're both bottom 3 in the league. The Packers are the worst and the Bears are the third worst. So if you have Justin Fields in fantasy, start that fucking guy, like actually, and he'll probably give you like 45 points. And don't come back and roast me if he doesn't, because I have him in my fantasy leagues too, so I'll be taking the pain with you guys. All right, so I'll feel your pain if he gets, turf burn on his dick. All right, like Trevor Siemian did last week. Dude, I want to see Mike White throw for 4 touchdowns. I want to see Mike White take a shit on the Vikings. And I think it'll be awesome. And I swear up and down that the Jets are built to beat this team. I've been saying it all week to my friends. I'm like, dude, the Jets are going to win this week. I have a feeling. Fuck the Vikings. The Vikings are a team that can get out physicaled, and it's been that way all year. The Jets have a pass rush, the running backs, the receivers, and the future Hall of Fame quarterback to do it. They're like Justin Jefferson or nobody. Thielen struggled. Cook has been having a tough past few games. Like, the defense is giving up 32 points per game over the past 3 games. That's tough. The Vikings made Mac Jones look like Bailey Zappi, the GOAT. They made Nelson Aguilar look like Randy Moss. It's fucked up. If it wasn't for a fluke call on Hunter Henry, who definitely did Boy Scouts or some geeky shit when he was younger, probably played like an instrument, I just have a feeling. If it wasn't for that call on the touchdown, you're looking at 30 points for New England. If I'm the Vikings, I'm, for one, firing my defensive coordinator. 2, I'm putting a compilation in Friday's practice of all the plays that they've given up and roasting my team. Look where all those chains got you, Vikings. Look at where it got you. Throw that Minnesota snow on those fake-ass chains from Sheen, and you call that shit ice.
There is no
ice. There's never been any ice. Ice is just a myth.
Jets defense is about to go full Fargo and throw Kirk Cousins' ass in the wood chipper. It's going to be a close game, but I like the Jets. I like the Jets, and I think Mike White has another good game. This is a little food for thought. The 4-7 Jags, man. 4-7. That's a losing record. They have a better point differential at 12 than the 9-2 Vikings. They only have +5 point differential. You're 9-2, and your point differential is only 5. 12-5 aren't that big of a difference, though. But don't tell that to Chris Hansen, because he'll tell you to have a seat. And then your ass is going to jail.
I'd like to talk to you.
About what?
About a couple things.
Well, I'd honestly take jail over spending 3 hours in Nissan Stadium watching a football game. Shit, well, good thing we're not in fucking Nashville for this game. We're in Philly. We're at the Link. The Titans travel to the Link in Philly and a hostile environment. December football in Philadelphia. They have the best record in the league, and the Titans are a team, though, that is extremely well coached because they have a good coaching staff. They have a good coaching staff that gets everything out of their players, no matter who's on the field. And their game is to play efficient and keep the game close. And that is sustainable for the most part, but until you meet a team who can match that and do it better than you because they're just more talented, that's where the problems come in. And the Eagles' run defense has been struggling as of late. And although Philly has more talent, I think Tennessee is built to beat this team in a weird way. They have a formula, and they're unapologetically themselves all the time. And Taylor Lewan is unapologetically on his podcast and avoiding another Ryan Tannehill low light in the playoffs because he can't take it anymore, man. I don't blame him. The Eagles just had a legendary performance against the albeit worst run defense in the league. You know, it's fair. The Packers are the worst run defense in the league. And the Titans are one of the best teams to stop in the run. So it's going to be interesting. And, you know, they're ranked third, just like Kim Kardashian on Pete Davidson's list of exes, right behind Kate Beckinsale and Ariana Grande, because let's just be honest, nobody's going to put Kim K over Ariana Grande. Maybe arguably Kate Beckinsale, but nobody's going above Grande. The Eagles lost safety and interception leader C.J. Gardner-Johnson for a while as he suffered a lacerated kidney, and that just sounds like it hurts. That sounds like it's the most painful injury. It just, to me, that just sounds like, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is what it is. You just cut your kidney. Like, there's a little lining in your kidney. If I'm not mistaken, that's actually what it is. Quick fact check would prove me either stupid or right. But I don't feel like doing that right now. So do it for me. Unfortunately, in this game, Jalen Hurts will be the only light-skinned throwing passes in this game. So Ryan Tannehill won't be rizzing up the camera like this.
Sin City wasn't made for you.
He'll be rizzing up the offense into interceptions, so that's lit. Another storyline, A.J. Brown facing his old team. A.J. Brown is going to take a brown shit, however, on whoever's stupid enough to line up man-to-man and press him at the line. Cleveland, Houston. This game might literally have 300 rushing yards, all by the Browns. In fact, that is my prediction. I predict that Chubb, Hunt, and Deshaun Watson will all split 100 even. In Deshaun's return to Houston. One of the best rushing attacks, and it's going to be against the 31st ranked run defense, and it should be smooth sailing for Deshaun. They should be able to rub down, run down the Texans' legs. Throat. Neither of those sounded good. And if you don't remember the love that the NFL had for Deshaun Watson as one of the brightest young athletes, it was big. You know, it was like the 2012 swag train, where everyone was writing swag, or the 2014 Starbucks craze. 2016, Deshaun Watson led his team game-winning drive in the Natty. Tight TD pass to T-Mobile customer service provider Hunter Renfrow. He was and is a star. You know, don't forget how good he was in every situation he was thrown in, even on his bad teams in Houston. 2020 was the last time he played, and Houston wasn't good. Houston was not a good football team, but he was good. He can make the players around him better, and that can bring a sense of calmness and control at the quarterback position and on the team that the Browns haven't had, dude, in, you know, ever, really. They've never had it. The Browns have pieces everywhere. I don't think that they can make a playoff run now, but I think they're in a great spot. They're getting better. You know, if I'm a Texans fan, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. They probably do those things at the same time, and rage, and break their TV and shit like that. You know, the only thing that I could think that'll be worse than the score is going to be the shit that Deshaun's going to hear in the stands. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like. It could get very ugly, and I think it'll be a weird feeling for the whole team, but it's the Browns. You know, they've went 0-16 before, so I don't think anything phases them. Miami, San Fran. Hey, listen, man. This game has a lot of connections that I think is really interesting when you really dive deep. Okay, the 49ers traded picks to get quarterback Trey Lance to who? The Dolphins. Mike McDaniel, who came from San Francisco, is now coaching Miami alongside Wes Welker and others who were on the 49ers coaching staff with Mike. He hired Mike Person, a former O-lineman from San Fran, and Aldrick Robinson, former receiver that played in San Francisco. They're now coaches on the Dolphins roster. The Dolphins brought over former 49er Raheem Mostert, Trent Sherfield, River Craycraft, and Jeff Wilson at the trade deadline. And Tyreek Hill, who faced some of those guys like Mostert and Wilson in the Super Bowl, they're now teammates. And similar teams, similar mindsets, and quarterbacks who are playing the best football of their careers. There's a lot of connections, and it's these two teams know each other really well. And I have a ton of respect for McDaniel, man. And he's someone that I wanted to see off the bat have a great start to his career. And people who were saying, he was either going to be the best or the worst coach in the league, I was on the side where he was going to be the best. He was going to be a world beater because I just believed in him that much because I knew the type of genius he was. And he was himself, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something that goes a long way as a coach because you don't get influenced by other coaches and what other teams do. You just know what works for you. You know what you're good at. And he's a genius, and he knows it, and he's not afraid to show it. And it's something that he's been preaching his whole career, really, was to let players and coaches be themselves. I think this is the most interesting game of the week because it's a chess match, man. There's no checkers. Shit's chess, It's gonna be back and forth. These two guys know each other like better than Broadway girls at Aldean's on a Friday and better than Baker Mayfield in commercials. Jimmy G and the Niners offense will see a lot of man-to-man, a lot of blitzing, a lot of different fronts. Man, I want to see the jawline jockey, man, throw darts. I think they're going to get a lot of good looks from McCaffrey and Kittle especially. So, but all over the field, really. The defense ain't bad for Miami, but it's coming on as of late. It's getting better. But the Niners get 6'7" defensive lineman back Eric Armstead to load up that D-line along with Nick Bosa, Samson Ebukam. And it's going to be a good one. I think San Francisco keeps it rolling because of a few things. I think their defense just turned a new leaf to the second half. They're playing lights out, and it throws off the timing of offenses, and I think it's going to do that to Miami. Not a whole lot, but enough. 49ers had some struggles in the red zone, and I think Kyle Shanahan fixes it. And I expect a lot of runs. I think that the 49ers, this is going to be one of those games where the Niners hit like 35-plus rushing attempts in this game. KC, Cincinnati, the rematch, baby. Joseph Burrow, the drip god, meets Mr. I'm here. Corny-ass quarterback. But the Texas-born Southern Star is so likable, man. Dude, he's so likable, I can't even hate him. I just have to respect him. But that doesn't mean I root for him. Okay, the Bengals are coming back. And at full strength, they've gotten DJ Reader back for a few games. Now they're going to get Jamar Chase back. Joe Mixon's coming back. And they're back in Cincinnati for this matchup. And the Skyline Chili will be running straight through Mahomes' stomach and right out of his ass on the field. The reason that Cincinnati has been able to beat Mahomes, and I looked into this, did my research, my 4 minutes of watching highlights is what I call research. The reason that they've been able to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs is because they've beaten Kansas City at their own game twice in a row. And that's something that really nobody has been able to do sustainably. The two times that they've played Mahomes and Kansas City, Mahomes was only sacked once. They led in time of possession, the Chiefs did, and the Chiefs had double-digit leads for the majority of the game. The only problem is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, name it, T. Higgins, name it. They have players that can dominate opponents if need be, and they needed it in those two games because they were down. Each game they had to come back, which exposes the best version of their offense and defense. Being down, just like Kansas City, it plays to the Bengals' strengths because it forces them to do what they're best at, which is throw the football. It forces them to be aggressive, and Kansas City just doesn't have the talent then, and they don't have it now to match up with the Bengals and their receivers. Credit to the Bengals defense, too, because they locked up during the second half, and they made stops when it mattered. They made stops when it mattered in the red zone and late in the game in the second half for each of those games. And they turned over Mahomes a good amount, too. They have the Chiefs' number, and I can't wait to watch this game. Allen and Herbert versus Mahomes is good, but Burrow and Mahomes all day. I'm here for that matchup all day. This is my favorite game of the week. Close to San Fran, but I think I'm going to have to say this one now. Yeah, it's interesting. No team has been really able to do that. Like, the Bills kind of, but they kind of make it their own game a little bit. The Bengals beat the Chiefs at their own game. Like, what the Chiefs are great at, like coming back, making adjustments in the second half and being more explosive on offense late in the game. That's exactly what the Bengals have done. Exactly what they've done. Sunday Night Football, man, I don't even want to cover this. I'm going to be honest. I actually think it's going to be a good game. I do think it's going to be a good game, but I just can't take the Cowboys on prime time. And I can't take Mike Tirico and shots of Jerry Jones and Matt Ryan throwing like he's got shit seeping out of his ass. Looks like he's playing like he's 55 years old. Brady looks younger than him out there, man. And the Colts can't find an answer as to why do we suck so much, Dick. I don't know. Watching them on Monday night was just painful because, they made it so hard on themselves. But Jonathan Taylor can give this team exactly what they need if they just keep opening up wide gaping ass holes for him. And this is going to be an ugly defensive battle. I feel like Cowboys are going to come in swinging. And I easily could think that the Cowboys can blow them out and blow the Colts players out of a job. Blow them out of a job. Blow their job out. Dallas' defense is going to give Matt Ryan the craziest guck of his life. Monday Night Football, the Saints have owned Tom Brady, but the Bucs have beat them the last time that they've played earlier in the year, and they beat them when it mattered in the playoffs. And I think this year, it's been tough for Brady, but I think this year the team is finally different in talent levels so much to where it's not going to matter. Andy Dalton and his Red Rocket boner are going to come up short against the Buccaneers this time. The Saints were shut out last Sunday against San Francisco with Alvin Kamara fumbling twice, man. And the schedule makers, for some reason, decided to put the Saints in prime time and on Monday night multiple times a year, which is not only confirm that the schedule makers are on drugs when they make the schedule, but it also proves that I will watch no matter how bad the game is. I will watch the game. Tampa Bay plays their best game of the season, I feel like. The NFC South sucks ass, and the playoff team from this division might not even have a winning record, but I'll still be able to focus better on their playoff game than when Rachel Bonnetta is speaking on any time during NFL Network.